So the question is going to be about how do we deal with the algebra, right? Okay. Well, we know that algebra is a math of undoing, right? So the first step that we are going to do, no matter what type of problem we're going to do, we're going to do one, do the opposite. Do the opposite of what's being done or what's happening to our x. Okay? So that if we take our most simple equation, like 3x is equal to 9. There's only one number that's going to make this thing true. We know that 3 times something is equal to 9. We know what that something is because we know our times tables. We know that 3 times 3 is 9. So I know my x is going to be 9. However, let's do the math of undoing. So I'm going to do the opposite of what I'm doing to my x. So I'm going to divide it by 3. Then we need to come to the second step. The second step is going to be the golden rule. Do unto one side as you do unto another. Alright, so here I have my divide by 3. Then on this side, in order to keep these two things equal, I have to divide this by this side. If we have our children, or if we have our brothers and sisters, and our parents give them a piece of candy, then to keep it equal, they have to give us a piece of candy. Or if you have your kids and you give one of your kids a piece of candy, then to be equal to both of your children, you must then give your other child a piece of candy. So we have to do this and keep things equal, right? So then when we do that, so the 3x divided by 3, that 3 will cancel out, right? Then over here I have 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. This x we haven't touched, so it drops down, so I get my answer that x is equal to 3, which we knew. So these are the one-step equations. But the one-step equations, oh, those ones are kind of easy. We know those. We can solve those by guessing. Now when it gets more fun is when we have 2 or more steps that are involved, 2 or more actions. So how do I know which one do I undo first? Well, we're going to work in reverse PEMDAS. So normally we do the parentheses and then the exponents and the multiplication and division and then the addition and subtraction. Here we're going to work ourselves backwards. So we're going to start off with 3x plus 4 is equal to 12. So then there are 2 things that are happening to my x right here. I'm having it be multiplied by 3, and then I'm having 4 added to that number right there. So then my first step, I'm going to work in reverse PEMDAS. I'm going to do the opposite of the addition first. So the opposite of the addition here is I'm going to take away 4. And so that's my opposite. Then what I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. So then from there, I'm going to go like this. So then this cancels out. So then I'm left with 3x on this side is equal to, I messed up on this one. It's going to be a fraction, but that's fine. That's going to be equal to 8. Okay? So the 3x is going to be equal to 8. So now I've got this being multiplied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, which is going to be divided by 3, divided by 3. If I had done my numbers a little bit more carefully, I would have gotten a good number here, but instead I didn't do my numbers quite so carefully. I think this was supposed to be 16 in my head, and so instead we're going to get ourselves the messy fraction of 2 2/3. So that's going to be my x. Or we could turn this into a decimal of 2.6 repeating, or 2.67 rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay? So that's how we're going to work that. So those are going to be all of our multi-step problems. And that's going to be the basics of that. Later on I might make another video that's going to talk about what happens when we have more than one x. But for the moment that's going to be our multi-step equations. Okay?